Hi, this is Cindy Abbott Letro. We're behind the camera. Today we're talking with Bill Fichtner, who you've seen on the big screen, on the little screen, and probably on stage as well. Bill, welcome back to Western New York. You know, one of the things that I think is so much fun is that you have developed this sort of relationship with the community through the sports teams, particularly the Buffalo Bills.
In Buffalo, there are only two seasons, football season and waiting for football season. This is a city built on rock and steel. We expect our players to be just as tough. To be a fan of the Buffalo Bills is a birthright. It's handed down from generation to generation. I know, because I'm one. It means we know what the comeback is, and we hate the phrase wide right. We don't jump on bandwagons, we circle them. Fasten your seatbelts isn't something we just do in our cars. They're words that define a legacy. Buffalo Bills football is about tradition and pride, inspired by the man who built our team. And that's what makes Sunday the greatest day of the week, and the reason that we're proud to say that we're Bills fans. This is our town, this is our team, and this is our time.
I don't think, it's not a secret, you are a fan.
Oh, that's and that was in evidence when the Bills played the Rams a few weeks ago. How exciting. I took my sons and two nephews from Buffalo, flew out there, and it was so thrilling because if there were 75,000 people in the Coliseum, 25,000 had Bills jerseys on. Wow. I thought I was sitting in a section, it was like a home game.
You weren't one of those guys with your body painted.
I can't share that, Cindy, I'm sorry. No, but they were sitting right behind me. And they were from Buffalo.
What is it about Buffalo fans? I mean, there is something. It's like, even for us to be doing this program here, it's all about this kind of, this Buffalo pride that we have if you're from Western New York.
You know, I'll tell you what it is, or at least it's a lot of things. And we're not a huge community, and we get behind the things that we care about. And I think the sensibilities of Buffalo people have a lot to do with, I think, the way that I go about work in my life. You know, we don't always put the cart before the horse, and it's not what you say, it's what you do. But on the Goo Goo Dolls live album that they recorded in the rain, Johnny Resnick says on there, you know, Buffalo, wow, toughest town in America. I think that's a lot of it. It is a tough town. Not tough like we're tough, we fight and that. No. It's just hard to live here. We live in the elements, and we keep going, and win or lose, we don't stop, and we get behind it. You know, I tell people when there's a Buffalo Bills home game, when you take Buffalo and the surrounding suburbs, and then if that stadium is full, I think it's 1 out of every 9.5 people is in the stadium. Right. That's a lot to say.
But why is that? Why are we so passionate?
You know, it's our window. You know, we're a big town, but we're not. But it's our window that we can compete with anybody, and we're tough and we go for it. And I think that's why, you know, at least I feel that it's like when it's time, you know, the biggest team's going to come to town. Well, we're a big team, and we care, and we can cheer as much as anybody, and we do. Proudly.
You know, there's also something about it, and I don't know if you've found this. I'm not even from Buffalo. I came here, we won't say how many years ago, but I find that there is always a Buffalo connection somewhere that, you know, you start talking and there's like this thing that you find that common denominator, and it usually is somebody you know or something you did or something that comes from Buffalo.
Well, it's like I was saying at the Bills when they were playing in Los Angeles. You know, you expect a big crowd like that for Dallas Cowboys or the Patriots to be out there. But I was blown away that this was probably the second smallest market in the NFL had this presence. I'll give you another example. I just finished shooting this film called Finding Steve McQueen, based on a true story and a period piece from 1972, and I shot it in Atlanta. So I happened to be there on one of the Sundays and Googled Buffalo Bills fans bars. So I thought if I'm going to go watch the game, I want to be around Bills fans. Sure. So I found this place called the Whitehall Tavern, and I walked through the door there, and I was like, I'm home. I'm home. I said to the bartender from Buffalo, he said, Jamestown. I'm like, that's close enough, buddy. And anywhere you go, you're gonna find Bills fans. You're gonna find people. I don't know. It's just something else. I've lived around the world and I've run into people, and they say they're from Buffalo, and I don't know what it is, but it's like I just, you know, you could, why don't you hang with me today? Yeah. You're with folk. You're with your hometown folk.
You just mentioned that you finished a film. Has it gotten easier for you? I mean, you've had a very successful career. When there's a role that you go for, do you have to go through everything like everyone else, or are any of those steps eliminated because of the body of work that you have had over the years?
Sometimes. You know, I find that, you know, every once in a while now I'll read something and I'm like, I love this, I'd really like to get it. But you know what, when I love it and I want to get, everybody wants to get it. And so sometimes those things don't work out, but I find that most of the things that I do now, people come to me, like this year in particular, 2016, has been like this independent film year. I've read more unbelievable little scripts, and, you know, it could be just a few scenes or a larger supporting part or a lead part or whatever, on these tiny budget films that are absolutely no money. They have no money to give me or anybody else. But I read the scripts and I'm like, God, this is just amazing. I'm in. This has been my indie year. and then I'm going to mow lawns to make some money, but it's been great. This has been fulfilling. So it changes. It goes up and down.
Well, the industry has changed too. When you talk about independent films, we had this conversation with Jonathan Sanger, you know, who produced so many wonderful films. He says almost anyone with an iPhone, you know, or they can go out and they can make a film of some sort that gets shown. Yeah.
And they do. Well, you know, you think of it, and I graduated from SUNY Farmingdale, went there for 2 years, 74 to 76, and then Brockport, 76 to 78. And when I finished Brockport and made a decision that I was not going to pursue my criminal justice degree, that I was going to, and my mother took me to the bus station in downtown Buffalo to take a bus to New York. You know, at that time, when I looked at my parents and said, I want to be an actor. I mean, that was like saying, I built a small spaceship and I'm going to Mars. You want to watch me take off? Because it was pre-Age of Information, and I didn't know anybody that was an actor. It is different now. But the business has also changed, not only in that way, you know, in social media, which I'm such a dinosaur with. I'm like, oh,
Me too.
I can't go on Twitter. I can't, you know, stick my leg in my mouth and put it out there for everybody to read. But it's changed in other ways, and, you know, studios economically used to make, you know, 4 times the amount of films that they make today. You know, everything has shifted. So, you know, you find your place and find what makes you happy and go try to do it.
Well, we're glad that you found your place because you make us all proud. Thank you, Bill.
My pleasure.
Good evening, folks. And thank you for attending the Town of Niagara's and Fashion Outlets of Niagara Falls Give Fashionably Grant Distribution event. We certainly appreciate your time and participation, but most of all, we appreciate all of the good works you do in the Town of Niagara, as well as in our neighboring communities. The Town of Niagara has been instrumental in directing these charitable funds to groups like you for over 20 years. At $50,000 per year over 20 years, that's $1 million in community support. We are fortunate to have you supporting our community, and we are lucky to be doing business in the Town of Niagara and to be able to partner with them in this charitable event. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our Town Supervisor, Lee Wallace.
Thanks, John. Well, I'd like to welcome everyone to what's become an annual event kind of changed a bit since its inception quite a while ago. And we're really pleased and proud to be here. And, this is really about giving back, and giving back to those of you who work tirelessly for our community through a variety of charity events and non-for-profit events and in support of our town, like the fire company and other groups like that. So this is our way of giving back. Now, those of you who have been here last year, remember we did this in March, and I thought that maybe it needs to go back to this time of year, since what better time of year to give gifts than at holiday time. So that's why we brought it back to the holiday time, and I think it's the right way to do things. On behalf of the Town of Niagara and our town board, and I want to introduce the town board. These are the deranged elves who work for us. We got Councilman Rick Sirianni, Councilman and Deputy Supervisor Chuck Texera, Councilman Sam Gatto, Councilman Mark Carpenter. Also on the committee with myself was Pat Brown and John Adorn. We were the ones who kind of made the decisions. So this is the group that's responsible for this. First group is the active hose exempt firemen, and Franz Skripek, I believe, is the one who's accepting for Franz not. See, and there we go, right, first one. Oh, Fran never shows up, okay. He just comes to the board meetings. He sends me everything. Yes, congratulations. Next is the Niagara Active Hose Volunteer Fire Company. Dan Hosey is not here, but I think they have quite a group that's going to accept for them. Yeah. Next we have the American Red Cross. I do not know who's representing them, so the American Red Cross. Chuck Mara. Next is American Legion Post 1142, the Women's Auxiliary. Next is the American Legion Post 1142, the actual, I guess, gentleman of the post, Joe, and I'm going to butcher your name, Majewski? I was close. Way too many vowels for me. That's a tongue twister. Whoa. Joe Mack. That's why everybody calls you Joe Mack. Okay. Next we have the Aquarium of Niagara, and I know there's a new director. Gay Molnar is no longer at, I think she retired. So here comes the gentleman for the aquarium. Gary Sadar. Next we have one of our new recipients, a group that does a lot for our town, the Barefoot Community Church, John Hasley. Next is the Belden Center Block Club, Kathy Hall. She says she's going to have nightmares about me wearing this hat. Next is a fantastic organization that does a lot of good for those in need in our community, the Capitol Cleaners Coats for Kids Fund. And Joe Petrosi. Next we have Carolyn's House and Susan Ben. Next is the Colonial Village Free Methodist Church, James Labar. Next is the Colonial Village Presbyterian Church, Reverend J. Henkley. Next, we have the Community Missions of the Niagara Frontier, Robin Krieger. You're not Robin. She's not Robin. Okay. Next is Disabled American Veterans Auxiliary 120, Cheryl Lipsch. I'm sorry, Cheryl, if I butchered your name. I think after 30 years of being in the classroom with every kind of name there is, I'd get them all, but. Next is Empower, Jeff Patterson. You're not Jeff. Next, we have Friends of Family Support Association for, I believe, NIMAC, and this is Holly Grisham. Next is the Heart Program, Susan McBee. And this is not Susan.
John B. Pasquale, representative. Thank you.
Next, we have the Health Association of Niagara County. I do not know who's coming for them, so. John Kinner. Next, we have the Heart, Love, and Soul Food Pantry, Sister Beth Brosmer. Next, the Holy Ghost Lutheran Church, Kevin Grinnell. Next, we have the Kiwanis Club of Niagara Refill, and I believe Dan Mertan is here. Dan, am I right? Yes, there he is.
All the way from Venice Beach.
Next, we refer to this as Meals on Wheels, but it's actually Niagara County Home Delivery Meals, Kara Donovan.
Randy Doran is representing them tonight.
Okay. Next group that came to the aid of the town of Niagara when we needed them with the ambulance service, and also do a tremendous amount of work in this area with their helicopter service, and that is Mercy Flight Incorporated, Scott Newton. Next is the St. Mary's Hospital Foundation, Julie Berenger. I'm sorry, Julie. Berenger. Okay. Next is the National MS Society Upstate New York Chapter, Ashley Greenman. Next, we have Opportunities Unlimited of Niagara, Elaine Duquette. Next is Our Savior Lutheran Church, Dorothy Adamczak, or Adamczak, whichever. Some people say one of them.
Adamczak, okay.
Next, we have, again, Relay for Life, which is actually the American Cancer Society, Mariah Turk. Next, we have Rivershore Incorporated, Linda Duncan. Next is the Salvation Army, Judy Dixon. You're not Judy. Next we have St. John's Lutheran School, Katie Grundau. Next is St. Peter's Lutheran School, Michelle Sabetta. And next we have St. Vincent's de Paul Church, Maria Stevenson. Next, another group that I work very closely with, does a lot for the town, runs the Electric Light Parade, Town of Niagara Businessmen's Association, Anthony Restaino. It's not Anthony, it's Gary Schwantowski. He said Anthony's better looking than him. Gary's actually the chair of the parade. Does an outstanding job. Town of Niagara Historical Society, Barbara Norodowski. Next, we have the Town of Niagara Lions Club, Angelo Annovello. Oh, Teresa? Is there, what's her name? Teresa White. White is the president, okay. And next we have the Town of Niagara Lioness Club and Christina Cramp. Okay, next, the United Way of Greater Niagara. I know there's a new representative. Carol has moved on to other pastures. And next we have the Veterans One Stop Center, John Higgins. John, that's not John. And last but not least, Veterans of Foreign Wars, Lake Ontario Post 313, and that's a mouthful, Walt Stevenson.
I'm Walt Stevenson. I represent the Federal Post 213 in Youngstown. The gift that we received last year for the post, sir, it replaced a furnace that was 26 years old and an air conditioning system, which we could not afford. And with in-kind donations from a gentleman in our squadron, our post, who is an HVAC guy, he was able to get us a unit at cost and install it. It was costing us a ton of money to run and a ton of money to fix every year. So thank you, sir. Thank you for your corporate and your local contributions to all of us. We need the money. We can't do it without you. Thank you. And thanks, Lee Wallace.
Again, thank you all for coming, and have a very happy holiday season.